sure. Awesome. Y'all, let's jump into it. We're gonna do assignment 17 today. I'm gonna start with some announcements per usual, and then we'll take the notes and do the assignment. So a low-key day today. Um, I do want to let you know that I'm not having office hours this afternoon. I know my office hours have not been ideal. So here's what's happening. On Tuesdays for this quarter, I'm going to teacher school called professional development. And it just like helps me to be a better teacher and a better coach for other teachers. So that's what I'm doing on Tuesdays afternoons. I'm not just like bailing on you and not having office hours. So I have been meeting with people outside of these office hours. Like I met with some people on Monday, I met with some people on Wednesday, and I met with some people on Tuesday morning. So if you would like to talk to me, check in with me, get some help on something, just email me. I'm happy to set something up for you. Okay. I am not having office hours today because I have the afternoon off. So I just wanted to let you know that I won't be having office hours today. That doesn't mean that I can't help you. So you can still send me text messages. You can still send me emails. Some of you guys are really great at asking for help, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, thank you. Plane go whoosh. Yeah, I mean, look how beautiful that is. Don't you wish we could go there? I just thought this was a nice picture. All right. So we're going to jump into the notes. As always, you have the option to stay with me and learn all the things, learn with us together in live action, and you have the option to learn it over team video. Today is one of my favorite lessons, actually. It's definitely my favorite at Excel, so I am really excited to jump in, but if you would like to be on team video, you are more than welcome to. For your points for today, I wanted to just break down your points because I know you guys are trying to keep those A's and B's. I really appreciate that. So you get 10 points for your notes every single day. You'll get 20 points for your IXL today. Even if you don't finish your IXL, you should still turn it in because if you do something on the IXL, you get points. Even if you get the first question wrong, you should try to get as high as you can, and then like if you have to give up, that's okay. But I do want you to turn it in, otherwise I have no idea if you did it or not. And then the last piece here is the Google checkpoint. That's your like 3-question quiz at the end. So there's 40 total points for today. The notes are 10, IXL is 20, and the checkpoint is 10, altogether 40. Are there any questions about those points today? Any questions about the points? Okay. All right. As we switch over here, I'm going to go ahead and open up your breakout rooms. Well, I'm going to open out the, we're not having workshops, so these are going to be in your workshop room. However, if you have, if you would like to go to those workshop rooms, you are totally able to go to them. If you want to stick with me, I think most people usually stick with me during the notes, but I will leave these rooms open if you would prefer to go to your room. So you do not have to go to these. You can if you wish. But the breakout rooms are open if you're like, I need to go to a quiet space to do my additional work. So if you would like me to assign you to a breakout room so you can go to a quiet space, you're welcome to. But please make sure you stay on the call so that we can get a hold of you. All right, I'm going to switch over to my iPad. So I'm going to stop sharing this one. If you are taking notes with us today, you can use the link that is in the chat right now to find the notes section. It might be a good day to take notes on the computer if you like taking notes on the computer. If you don't, you can always do it on paper for sure. All right, before we get started, for those of you who are writing on paper, I want to own today that there is a lot of words on the notes, right? There's a lot of words on the notes. So if you weren't able to print it down, I don't want you to try to write down everything that is on this page. As you can see, there's a lot of things coming. right? So I want you to use this as a practice because your professors in college are also going to have a lot of words on their slides, right? And so you'll have to decide what is important to write down and what isn't important to write down, right? So not everything that's on here is important. It might be important to understand the topic, but it might not be important to write down, right? Not important to write down. So I would say that something that is important to write down is the title. We're going to be matching functions and graphs today. Matching functions and graphs. Hi, Isaiah, great question. We are jumping into our notes today for note 17. So you can either jump to the video if you want the video, or you can jump to watch the video, or you can stay and take notes with us. Mahalia and Amira, for the password, make sure that you don't copy any spaces. So maybe just actually type in discovered that, right? So maybe try copying this if you need to. Discovered that. It looks like some people it's working for them. So if it's not working for you, just let me know and I will follow up on attendance as well. So Melanie, did it ever work for you? Melanie, you did. Okay, cool. So Amira and Mahalia, keep trying. You're doing great. Sorry that it's not working out, but I will also let them know. I'll also let them know that you're attending. All right. All right, team. Today we are going to match quadratic functions to their graph. And I'm really excited because this kind of brings together everything we've been doing and helps me to sort of understand what the graphs look like. Okay. So standard form is what's here in yellow, right? Is what's here in yellow. So it's ax squared plus bx plus c, right? So it's a standard form, helps me to find the orientation, right? Has anyone heard the word orientation before? Yeah, orientation, right? We go to it at the beginning of every school year. It helps us to like know what we're supposed to do and what direction to go to our classes. Orientation means direction. It means like the setup, right? So the standard form, the yellow form here, where it has A and B and C, helps me to find the direction and the y-intercept. The direction and the y-intercept. So if I was taking notes on my own, I would write standard form. I would write this version right here. And then I would write the word orientation or the word direction. And I would write y-intercept because those are the things that are most important in this section. Standard form, the formula, direction, and y-intercept. All right. Okay, so then we're going to think about the A, what the A does. So this number in front by the x squared is super, super, super important. The number in front, the A, tells us 4 different things actually. So if A is positive, so I might write positive on my graph. I'm sorry, positive on my paper. If A is positive, the graph looks like this. It's called opens up. And I like to think of it opens up like a cup. Up like a cup. So then you can imagine, so this is like if it's like 3x squared and then dot, 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 dot. If it is negative, like negative 3x squared, then it's going to be down. We call this opens down. We can say down like a frown, sad face. Did you know it actually takes more muscles for your mouth to frown than it does to smile? It takes like 100 something muscles in your face right here for your mouth to frown, to make the frown, like frown face. To smile, it takes only like 3 or something. I don't know. I just read that once. So if I'm writing on my paper, I would say the word positive, super important. The graph looking like this, super important. And then opens up like a cup, super important. I'd say the word negative next to this graph, and then opens down like a frown. If the examples help you, the negative 3x and the positive 3x squared, then maybe write that down too. Up to you what you write down, but I'd say those things are important. All right. Then we can determine what the number, so if the number is positive, it opens up. If the number is negative, it opens down like this, okay? If A is a big number, the graph looks like this. It's really skinny. It's really, really skinny. So if it's a number, I don't really know how to spell skinny. Do I put an E in it? Skinny, like that? That looks kind of weird. I don't know. Anyways, it's skinny. This is if it was like 2 or 3 or 5x squared. That would be like super, super skinny. And then if A is a fraction or a decimal or a small number like a fraction or a decimal or something closer to 1, then it's going to get really wide like this. Really wide like that. So that's like if we have like 1/5 of x squared, 1/5 x squared. So if it's a big number, super, super skinny, it gets tall, like they like stretch it tall. If it's a small number, it flattens up like this. Flattens up. If it's a negative number, right? A negative number, it's going to flip over. So if it's a big negative number, it's going to be skinny and upside down. If it's a small negative number, like a fraction negative, like negative 1/5, it would be upside down, but it would be wide. That's a great question, Antoine. So positive big, skinny up. Positive small, wide up. Negative big, skinny down. Negative small, skinny wide. I'm sorry, wide down. Wide down. All right. And then finally we have C, which is the constant. It's like the number at the end. So we have ax squared plus bx plus c, right? This number at the end. The constant is always the y-intercept. Right? Constant is always a y-intercept. So if we had like 2x squared plus 4x minus 10, then the y-intercept would be negative 10. If it was 2x squared plus 4x minus 6, or plus 6, let's do plus 6 so to be positive, then the y-intercept would be positive 6. These are my y-intercepts. Right? Whatever that number is, that's where it's going to cross the y-axis. So it asks, what would a function with no c look like? Like what would 2x squared plus 4x look like? Right? What would a function with no c? Since there's no c here, it'd be like plus 0. Yeah, plus 0. So then where would it go? Where would it be its y-intercept? Yeah, through the origin like this, like that. So your y-intercept would be through the origin. That's what this one would look like if it has no c. For sure. Good question. So again, if I'm taking this on paper, I'm thinking, all right, I know C, I might write down the word constant. That seems like a math important one. I'm definitely going to write down y-intercept. I might write down one example and show that the y, encircle the y-intercept. All right. So this is all information I get from the standard form. The A tells me what direction it's going, its orientation, and the C tells me the y-intercept. Okay. There are two other formats, and they tell us more specialized information. The two other formats are factored form, this green one, and vertex form, the pink one here. So for factored form, if I'm taking notes at home, I'm writing down the factored form, I'm writing down what it looks like. The factored form helps me find the solutions, which are on the x-axis. Right, so writing down at home, I'm writing down the title, I'm writing down this part, probably going to write down the word solutions and maybe x-axis or on the x-axis. I know what that means. All right, so how I'm going to do it, I'm going to flip the signs to find the solutions. We practiced this a million times in assignment, I don't even know, 13, I think, assignment 13. So we're going to flip the sign. So if we have x plus 3, our x would be negative 3. Okay. If we have x minus 4, our x would be positive 4. So we would have our two solutions. We would have a graph, one at negative 1, 2, 3, one at positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we would have our graph go like this, go through those 2 points. So we can tell what points they go through. All right, so x plus 2 squared is like x plus 2 times x plus 2. That means I would have one solution is negative 2 and another solution is negative 2. They have the same solution. So when I draw my graph, 1, 2, negative 2, that's the only place it's going to go through. So it's going to look like this, right? Since it is positive. All right, these are examples. You might want to have one of them written down. Probably don't need to write down both. Then finally, we have our vertex form. Right? Vertex form looks like this. We haven't really dealt with vertex form too much. We're looking at it today. So vertex form helps me find, can you guess what it's helping me find? Yeah, thanks for that private chat. The vertex. It's helping me find the vertex. So in order to find the vertex, I'm going to flip the x coordinate and I'm going to keep the y coordinate the same. Right, so I'm going to flip the x coordinate just like normal. It's in parentheses. I'm going to flip it. And then the y coordinate is going to stay the same. So what I mean by that is that for the equation that's written here, I'm going to take this. It says positive 4. For the x, I'm going to have negative 4, like this. And for the y, I have 9. I'm just going to write 9 right there. So my x coordinate, that is in the parentheses, it's coming from next to the x. I'm going to flip that one. And 9, positive 9, is staying the same. It's not going to change to negative 9. So what would the vertex of this next one be? What would the vertex of this next one be?
Positive 3 and positive 6.
Yeah, positive 3 and positive 6. Thank you so much. Positive 3, so negative 3 is flipping into positive 3. And positive 6 is staying positive 6. Thank you, Nayeli, in the chat as well. Awesome. And then this one, you might notice there's negative here. That doesn't mean anything except it's going to be opens down like this, right? So we don't need to think about that negative. So the positive 2 is going to flip into negative 2. And the positive 10 would stay positive 10. If this said negative 10, this would be negative 10 over here. Right? But it doesn't. It says positive. So we're going to keep it positive. Okay. Okay. For the sake of time, I want us to get into the IXL today. So I'm actually going to skip this part over here, right? So I'm going to skip this part over here. Please don't hate me, but I do want us to do some IXL questions together. So if you would really, really, really want to watch this, you can watch the video. I recorded it on the video notes, and you can check out the video. I do want us to get some practice on the IXL. So if you could go ahead and click that assignment box. Go ahead and click that assignment box. Our assignment link there. Make sure that you're clicking into level M K13. And I'm gonna share, do make sure that you sign in. I'm gonna go ahead and sign in myself. So I can show you an example on the IXL, what we're doing today, because this is really the only practices on the IXL today. All right, let me go ahead and do a new share for you. All right, so for today, for our IXL, it's going to say match each quadratic function to its graph, right? Match each quadratic function to its graph. So it has two equations here. I'm going to click on one and I can drag it here or I can drag it here, whichever one it matches. So what I notice about the first one is it's up like a cup, right? Notice if you poured water into it, it would hold that water. So up like a cup. So I know this one must be positive. And this one is down like a frown, right? So this one must be negative. So I'm going to look at the beginning right here. This says negative x squared. So this is my negative graph. I'm going to drop it over here. This says positive, or just says x squared. So I assume that it's positive. So this is up like a cup, 14, or g of x, this one here, right? I could also notice, I know my c is my y-intercept. So my y-intercept would be 14. This looks like it's going to hit right about 14. So that seems right. And this one is positive 7 on my y-axis. Right here, I can see, okay, so that is my my y-intercept is positive 7. So this matches. Let me go ahead and press submit. And that is how I'm going to get started here. Okay. Same thing here. I see negative x squared. So I can drag this one to the negative one, the down like a frown, and this one to the positive one, up like a cup. All right. All right. Then after you do a few, they're going to tell you what the standard form is. So f of x, the blue things are always going to show you the standard form, right? They're always going to show you the standard form. However, if it can be factored, if it can be in factored form, they will also show you the factored form here. So g of x is this in standard form, but it's also this in factored form. So you can see, okay, so I know that there is x plus 4 is a factor. So the opposite of that, negative 4, right, would be my solution. Negative 4 would be my solution. So I'm going to look to see which of these graphs does it cross negative 4. It doesn't. There's no solution here. So it must be this one. Here's negative 4. There's my solution. It's also my vertex. So I know that g of x is this graph over here with the negative 4. I also see this one is in standard form. Obviously, it's going to go over here. This one is in standard form. It's positive, up like a cup, and plus 2. It's going to have a y-intercept of 2. So I'm going to drag that one over there. And I know that that is my correct answer. Okay. I want you to go ahead and work on this one. I will go ahead and pop this link. You can go straight to the IXL if you would like to. Straight to the IXL in there. so that we can get started. So here I will do one more with you guys. So f of x says x squared plus 1. So I know it's going to have a y-intercept of 1. Y-intercept of 1, not that one. Y-intercept of 1. Oh, yeah, this one over here. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this one over here. G of x has a y-intercept of 40. That's not going to be on my graph, but it does have a solution at -8 and at -5. So I see -8 and -5. Those are my solutions. I'm going to go ahead and drag this right here. Right. Drag that right there. So we have, that is how we're going to get started on the IXL. We have about 10 minutes left. I want you to stay here and get started on the IXL. Right, get started on this IXL here. I'm going to go ahead and help out anyone who has any struggles. We can work on yours in particular. So I want you to stay here so I can help you, but do get started on that IXL. Amazing job. We have 23 people currently working on the IXL. Appreciate you. Amazing job, Nayeli. Nice job, Marcy. Good job, Melanie, getting started. So if you're wondering, like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? We have the IXL. It is here. Great job. Feel free to chat me if you have a question. You guys are doing great. Good job, Geraldine. Good job, Emiliano. Good job, Elvia. You got this, Helen. Double check. Just a reminder, you should double check when you get an answer wrong, you should see why they say that you got it wrong. Don't forget to take a look at that. Great job, y'all. You're doing awesome. If you do want to jump into those breakout rooms, you can go along the bottom where next to the like mute button and the share screen, there should be something that says breakout rooms. You can pop into your breakout room if you'd like. I can stick around with us. So if you're on that first level, the very like the beginning, I would be very careful. It's just positives and negatives. So up like a cup, if your parabola could hold water in it, like if you could pour water and it would just sit there, right? Up like a cup, those are your positive ones. So if it says x squared just by itself, that's going to be your positive one up like this. If it's a negative x squared, right? If it's down like a frown, it's going to be down like this. Right? That is the only way that you would need to think about that in the beginning. Right? So in the beginning, that's all it is. Is it up like a cup or down like a frown? Sounds good, Geraldine. Thank you. Great job, team. You're doing a great job. Good recovery, Gary. Way to get that one. Good job, team. Adrian, good job. If you have a question, definitely make sure you ask it. Alan, good work. You're almost there. Nice recovery, Jennifer. David, make sure you answer a question. All right. Every single person who is in the sound of my voice, if you can hear my voice, I want you to submit this assignment. Okay. I know you're not finished. I know you're going to have it. But if you can hear my voice, I want you to, like, every single person is at least getting 14 points because I see that you have started and gotten a significant distance on your IXL. So if you have done anything on your IXL, I want you to make sure that you do submit this, right? You took notes, so that's 10 points. You have your partial IXL, that's 14 points right there. That's more than half the points you are getting just from the work that you've done so far. So please, please, please do not go to sleep tonight. I would recommend turning it in right now, but do not go to sleep tonight until it is submitted. Please, please, please. Other than that, it is the end of our class, so you're welcome to log off. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And then if I don't see you, I hope to see you after break. I hope to see you later. So you are not submitting the link of the IXL, you're submitting a screenshot of the IXL on your assignment, a screenshot on your assignment. Bye, Samantha. Adios, amigos. Adios, amigues. Bye. Bye, guys. You're putting this screenshot on your assignment, right? So in your assignment for um, Algebra 2, you have like a box, you're gonna put it in there. Yep. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you. Bye, Antoine. Bye, David. Diana. Amazing, Mia. I think I graded it, but I will double check. Marcy, you're still gonna finish. I just want to make sure that you turn something in. So if you want to finish and then turn it in, that's totally fine. Bye, JR. Have a great day. It was so nice to meet you the other day. So Marcy, you're still gonna finish. Some people have been not turning things in, so I wanted to make sure everybody turns something in. Bye, Mia.